Hi everyone, this is Dr. Robin Yap, and welcome to another episode of Yap with Dr. Yap. And we are here with the lovely Tanya Heritage. And hello there, Miss Heritage. How are you doing?
Good. I'm good. Thanks so much for having me join you today. Excited for conversation.
All right, maybe you could introduce yourself to everybody. The ones who don't know you, you're famous, but hey, there might be somebody in Zimbabwe who doesn't know you. So hello.
So, Tanya Heritage, currently account executive with Skillsoft, and have been in the L&D industry now for more years than I want to mention. Have had the absolute privilege of working with you, Robin, on the board of directors for the Canadian Community of Corporate Educators. So have been involved with the Triple CE for
Ooh, many years.
it's got to be 20. I think so. Started when I was 12, and
Exactly.
so just super excited to be included and share some of my thoughts with you today.
Yeah, so let's dive into it. Over the years, you've seen a lot of shifts in L&D, I'm sure,
Okay.
especially with so many teams now remote. What do you think have that shift actually done to impact performance of people? Has there been any impact?
You know, it's interesting to me because I think when COVID hit, it was kind of like everyone was forced to be virtual, right? There was no choice, and I think to a lot of organizations' surprise, perhaps it showed that people can be effective and efficient working from home. It's not for everyone. I've worked from home before COVID. It's been like 17 years from me, and I know that it's not for everyone. That it is a different mentality because that line between work and your private life is it is kind of blurred when it's all in the same place. But I think the bigger challenge right now is with the return to work mandates. Um, because the switch to everyone working remote was not an option, right? It was a necessity, and it was something that happened globally. And so there was, I think, a lot of, like there were stories about, I had a call with someone who was literally in her bathtub, in her bathroom, hiding from her kids, and it was like there was just so much grace for everyone because we were all in this situation that we were just, trying to survive kind of thing. So I think, given how it was forced upon everyone really quickly, I think that we responded really well, and I think that we found that we could be quite successful remote. Now, saying that, I think that there are benefits to having people in an office and collaboration and those types of things, but I think the lack of flexibility that I'm now hearing, that I'm now seeing, is causing more ruffles to be feathered, I think. And I'm seeing more changes, more, from a leadership perspective, having to toe the line between, the corporate mandates and also understanding your team and how they're going to work best and how they're going to be most successful. So I don't know if that's a helpful answer, but
Oh, totally.
it's just kind of my perspective watching from kind of the outside, the changes back and forth.
Oh, totally. And it's actually another layer of that is this whole AI thing. So now on top of figuring out should we actually go back to work, all of that hybrid stuff, and in the last just a couple of months, probably a year now, this AI is now revealing something that may surprise people. So in your experience, what surprised you, especially when it comes to corporate culture and AI? How does that actually work now?
So I think there's two things. So from a corporate culture perspective, I think that the Canadian market is a little more tentative. Um, and even like I've watched some podcasts and read some articles, and that's kind of been validated. What working with crown corporations, government entities, financial institutions, I think that they have definitely been slower to implement AI, and there's a lot of concern around governance and misuse and things like that. So I think that perhaps as a whole, I think Canada's, although we have a ton of innovation, I think from a corporate perspective, Canada's been a little slower at adoption and it being culturally accepted within organizations. So that's kind of one thing. What surprised me about AI though is in working with organizations, I usually would do a ton of research, right? Like I'm reading ESG reports, annual reports. I'm listening to conference calls and quarterly calls and yearly and gathering and having conversations with people at all different levels of the business. And with AI, with having a prompt and kind of adjusting it and tweaking it a little bit, it's like in 30 seconds it can spit out what would take me hours of research and reading and cross-referencing. And so I think, and the accuracy, I think that's what shocked me most when I first started to try to use AI myself, because I think that one of the things in the early AI conversations that I heard that really resonated with me is AI will not replace you, but someone who knows how to use AI will. And so that there was like this, for my own, going out of my comfort zone and making myself kind of use it. And I think for me that it was like a shock that it was so accurate based on, because I did it first with organizations I felt that I knew pretty well, because I wanted to see, what's it going to tell me? And it's like, I did a lot of research. Maybe I didn't need to. Yeah.
But how does that actually work when it comes to building trust, though? Because now there's this additional layer of AI and the fact that we might be remote. And what is your go-to move when, the going gets tough with a client?
I've actually found in my career that sometimes it's those challenges that end up creating the best partnerships. I think it's how you deal with the challenge. And I would say for me, it's just complete transparency. It's ownership, like, yeah, like this is not a good situation. And it's, I think, having full transparency, the ownership, and how you react to it can oftentimes make a partnership even, like, I had a situation not that long ago where it was a partnership ending situation. And, as a result of how it was dealt with, yes, there was a delay in delivery based on original timelines, but the final solution, the final was, I think, way better than it ever would have been. And so it was establishing that trust and building that trust between you that hey, I really do care. I try to put myself in my customers' shoes. Like, if there's anything I've ever struggled with in my career, it's actually, I've been told that I'm too customer focused.
That's a good thing.
which I think the leader is meaning it to be like a negative, but I actually take it as a positive.
Ah,
All organizations say we're customer centric. I truly believe that that I do try to put myself, and I think that's where I probably share things that my leadership does not want me to share, but that's how I think you build that trust and credibility, and end up making partnerships last.
and you know what? I can actually attest that you are very customer focused. So, just for those who don't know, it really is. So.
Hi, everyone. The sponsor for our episode today is none other than Nutella Canada. So, thank you, Nutella, for this wonderful gift packets. It comes with a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I opened this because I got hungry. So, Nutella, be ready. Always be ready. So, I got that. I have it in my bags too. This is always fun. Love the Nutella and go. And of course, why not have some biscuits? So, Nutella is in all of your shelves, I'm sure, in a bodega somewhere. And have a great day. Thank you, Nutella. Thank you for sponsoring this video.
Okay, so we're looking ahead and we're looking at there's now all these changes and what change in L&D well excites you moving forward, but what is it that kind of like, ooh, that's gonna keep me at night?
So I think I love the idea of the efficiency. I and what I love is I'm thinking from strictly from a content creation and instructional design kind of lens right now. Is I'm think a lot of people are thinking, oh well, with AI we can streamline the process and we can cut costs, and I don't necessarily think that you can cut costs, but I think that it opens up the opportunity for a lot better um, Q&A, a lot better, more creativity, because the easier parts can be done with AI, or you can get help with AI, if that makes sense. So I feel like I'm excited by the efficiency and how I think it will allow more creativity, by using AI as that kind of like sparring partner and challenging yourself and really kind of trying to do things, a little different. So I like that. That excites me. The idea of building um, my own kind of automations, and we had the meeting with Lori Niles Hoffman, and she kind of challenged us all that you need to start, and I can't even remember the word right now. It's not a bot, but what is it?
Agentic AI
Yeah, that we need to start to create our own.
agents.
And even I've read quotes from her saying I've done it and I'm not very smart. Well, she is very smart, and so that keeps
Jeez.
me up a little bit, you know what I mean, that I'm like, I don't know, so that's something that I really do think is important, and I want to do it. I have actually looked at classes and stuff that I can take, because I don't think I'm as smart as Lori, and don't think I'll be able to do it without help. But that's kind of something, again, that I'm challenging myself with. But there was also a comment that really kind of blew my mind, and it was, I think it was the chief learning officer at Bank of Montreal, and she was talking about their chief, AI. They have now someone in that role, and talking about, asking her, and for the learning organization, um, what are you doing to train agents? Right. So it's not even just training employees, it's training agents. And I kind of thought, like, it was the first time I was kind of like, woo, like, wow. It
Good
is,
revenue stream.
yeah. It was one of those like moments where I was like,
Yeah.
they do have to be trained. You know what I mean? And it was just something that I was kind of just like, oh, I didn't even, what are we gonna do about that kind of thing?
I think we can do a partnership there.
Those are, I guess, kind of the main things that. And it would agent, that's the word that she used, building your own AI agents, not bots.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So now we're looking at some of our audiences are young adults getting, or I guess starting into the field. And what would be nuggets of wisdom that you can share with them as they get ready to get out of school and now go to the workplace?
I think well, I think a lot of your students are coming from a college experience, which I do think immerses them in, real world, real life scenarios. Some of what I've been hearing recently, and some of the work that we're doing right now at Skillsoft is around that. How do you take someone who has, a lot of knowledge, a lot of, educational, and how do you convert that to on the job performance? And because I don't think coming, straight out of university that you necessarily have, that applicability of all of that theory, right? It's like kind of distilling it down, and how do I now, so I think that being involved in organizations like the Triple CE. So I think if you have a field of work that you're interested in, so particularly like for L&D, we have associations and things that you can be part of, that you can participate in, so that you're immersing yourself within that community. And I think that will really help, not even just for applicability to the job, but even making connections with people in the industry, kind of thing.
Right, right. Oh, I love that. And a great promotion for Triple CE.
Just happened to be like,
there you go.
It's been a huge part of my career for that reason.
I know, me too.
is having that community, being around my peers. For me, especially because I'm a salesperson, I think that because of my involvement, it shows like a true interest and wanting to understand and wanting to help to solve problems, and needing to immerse myself into the community so that I can understand what kind of problems they're trying to solve, and how I can be of service.
And that's very important. I mean, I do appreciate, just on a personal level, you and I have had lots of conversations on, challenges that we may have at work. And, it's always good to bounce ideas with somebody who, you can trust and be able to just no judgments, right? So, and I like that. And the only way that would have happened is because we are in associations.
Yep.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Very good. I love that. So thank you so much. I know you're very busy, and thank you so much for taking the time. And I'll see you soon.
All right. Awesome. So great to talk to you, Robin.
Bye.
Next event.
Bye.
You've been listening to Yap with Dr. Yap, produced by Point North Media and thepointnorth.com, with offices in Madrid, Spain, and Toronto, Canada. Original music by Jojo the Point North AI. Find us on Instagram and YouTube. Here are other episodes on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Until next time, stay curious and keep those conversations going.